was introduced to the rotary cutter, and it dramatically changed my entire world. It's changed the quilting industry for almost every quilter that is out there today. Westerly Design, when they designed the ruler foot, they dramatically have changed that way quilters are quilting. Long armers have had rulers for a long time, but our domestic quilters were at a disadvantage. We've never had those amazing products that could advance our skills. I have so many people say that I can't free motion, that I don't know how to do it, that I'm no good at it. Ruler work is not free motion, it's guided motion. I already know where I'm going, and all I have to focus on is just keeping the foot attached to the ruler until I'm at the end of the line.
Hi, welcome
So
to
it's
my
really
happy
a
place.
big advancement,
I'm Kathy
helping people
Clawson.
to make their quilts as beautiful as they want and really changing the level of skill that our domestic quilters are going to see.
Hi, everyone. It's Stacy with So Steady, and we are here with two amazing educators, and actually three. We're going to say three amazing educators. That doesn't include me. We are back today to share with you some awesome education that both Donna Mcaulley and Kathy Clawson are going to be bringing you this next month. So what we're doing is we're going to be previewing some fun classes that you can sign up for that you don't want to do without. So we're going to have Donna on live first. She's going to be sharing with us her amazing dream panel class. I'll be posting a link to that. Both of these classes, guys, are Zoom-based classes. So you're getting on and you're doing hands-on classroom time with both of them. So it's more about kind of a matter of what you're excited about, but we've got Donna bringing you the dream panel, which if you haven't done it yet, it's a must. I think everybody has to have the experience of the dream panel. And then we've got Kathy, who is going to be actually sharing with you a really fun, I think, a Valentine's Day inspired project that you're just going to want to have out there, maybe as a table runner or table topper, something, a decoration for Valentine's Day that's coming up. So two awesome classes that we're going to be highlighting today. Without any other questions, I was going to go ahead and have Donna take it away. But the third amazing educator that's here today, she's not on the screen right now. There she is. We've got Melissa joining us. Melissa is actually my sister-in-law. So a little family history for you there. But she is one of our amazing educators. She's creating a lot of content, a lot of great stuff. And so you'll be seeing her this year creating some more stuff for all of you. And she's going to be on here commenting, and she's going to be joining you a little bit more online, being able to share her projects and then also participate in some of these with our educators. So introducing Melissa, guys.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, so then let's go ahead and jump on over. We'll have Donna take it away with her amazing dream panel class, and then we're going to finish it up today with connecting hearts. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, Donna. So you are going to take it away for everyone.
Hello, everybody. This is Donna here, and I'm glad that you're able to join me. Now, I'm looking at some of the ladies checking in over here on the comments, and I see some of the ladies that have been in some previous classes, and so that's great. We did several of them during the summertime last year, during 2023, not just the summertime, but all year, and are getting ready to start our first series for 2024. And so what you're going to want to have is the supply list. Now, this sheet here gives you a lot of information about the class. It also identifies what the templates are. Now, there are several of them listed here, but please don't panic and think you have to have all of those. What's so unique about this particular class is that it is a design workshop. This isn't a class that's going to teach you how to duplicate the quilt I did. It is going to teach you how to create designs using templates you already have. If you want to add your collection or pull out from your collection some of these are ones that were used during the class. It's a 12 hours total but you actually get a little bit more than that, because for people that have registered for the class, I also do an optional live in the studio, is what I call it. But it's honestly a pre-class class. So you get a couple of extra hours that aren't included in that 12 hours. And we're going to go over in that particular class lots of information that's going to help you with the Zoom class, that's going to give you a little bit of a head start as far as some fancy threads and different things like that. So it really is good. It's free. There's no charge, only to those people that are registered for the workshop. So if you're not in that, then you're not eligible for the other class. This is just kind of my flyer that talks about all of the classes that are coming up during the springtime here. And so there are a couple of the design workshops scheduled, one of them in February and another one that starts the end of March. And then these others have different dates also. We'll be doing some reviews on them before the classes start during the Wednesday Wonders. So this is a great time, and thank you, Stacy, for allowing us to do that. So let's just take a look at this. This is public information here. It's available to anyone that wants to download it, and I think there's probably even a link here from SoSteady for you to get to that. I have it on my website where you can pull it off. There's no charge. It's just good information. It's in the Facebook group. Now, one other thing I want to talk about for just a second, for anyone that registers for any of my classes here, I also have set up a private Facebook group that I call student support groups, and they are only for people who are registered in that particular class, whichever one it is. There we share a lot of information and pictures and ideas and even some instructional videos here and there. So those are really good to have on hand for you. Once you register, then you're eligible to sign up and join those private groups. No one is allowed in those groups except for people that are in the class. So it's really a very private group. And I encourage all of you who do sign up for the classes to join in for those. Let's take a look at what some of the designs are here on the quilt. Let me back up just a little bit. So with this particular project, I had decided that these Dream panels, Dream Big panels, it's a giant flower, but look how big they are. You can see here the size of my hand on some of these petals. And so it gives us a wonderful opportunity to have designated spaces to create designs. Rather than only working on a flat quilt sandwich, we have a pattern to follow and helps us determine how we want to create a design to work within the space. So here is just a sample of one of those designs. Some of the ladies have duplicated this quilt exactly as it is here, and most have taken these ideas as inspiration and using the templates that they already have on hand, then go in and we together as a group create new designs that fit your spaces with your templates. So how much better can it get than that? Do we have any questions over there, I wonder?
I'm not seeing any questions. I'm seeing a ton of feedback, though. People are loving, loving, loving your class.
It's really been a great class. I think we had maybe close to about 200 people last year go through it. And it's just so much fun because we work with people all over the world. And I honestly tell you that it's not just joking, it's honest. We have ladies from New Zealand to Norway in the class. And so as long as someone can understand my English, they're able to participate in the class. They can anyway, but it helps if you know what I'm talking about. The classes, the instructional part is recorded, and those videos are then available within a day or two after the class on the university. And so you have access to it forever. And that really is a good thing. If you're not able to complete your panel right away, you're able to come back to it. But if you also want to try and figure out, what did I do up here in this particular one? How do I want to go about doing that design on a different quilt? You can go back for reference and do that. And so it really is good. So I see that someone here has questions about where do I get the panel. I don't know if Sew Steady still has some available. Last year we had some. I think we still might have some available through Sew Steady. I don't have any here, unfortunately. Melissa or Stacy, do you know if there's still any available?
We can look. I'm not sure how many we have or what color.
Okay.
If color,
So
if color is an issue too.
we did have some that were available last year. Several people ordered those, and there may still be some left. But there are quite a few different shops around town and your town, different towns, and also even online, Etsy and Amazon, believe it or not. And so they are available. I don't know how many more years they will be made, but right now there's quite a few out there. So these are available now for your registration on the university, and you'll have access to the videos after the classes and the full participation in the classes. I do not provide a full printed set of instructions like all of my other classes, because every one of these is different and all of our people are different. And so depending on who's here and what you have is going to determine what you're going to do. And so because of that reason, I have not put together full instructions. There's a lot of photos that you're going to have, though, and information and ways to create the designs. We will work with the templates and go over how to use some of the designs and things like that. Let's take a look down here. I think there were 28 different templates. And these were templates, let's see if I can get that to clear up, that I used on my quilt here. That doesn't mean you have to have them all. The ones that are showing in the bold letters are probably the ones that were used most frequently. And I want to say offhand, that would be the feathers, the curlicues, and the hearts, along with the straightaway and the droplets. And so, there's quite a few different ways that we go about it. We will learn how to use some pretty fancy threads. I don't know if you can see that, but we have some metallic stitching in here going on. And so that's a 12-weight thread that's a little bit different than what you may have used on other projects. But when you know how and know what the little tricks are, it's real easy to do. So those are all things that we cover in the class. I call it a 12-hour class. It's more like about 14 hours or maybe 16, depending on how many of the pre-classes that you participate in.
We do have a few questions that have come in, Donna. We just posted to confirm, that we do have a link in there, so you can go on and actually learn more on the page itself, and we'll post that link again. But one question was, can they sign up for the March class? And I don't know at this time that you have a March class.
I do have, but it's not available yet on the on the university. I will get
Okay.
that posted so the dates in March are, let's take a look over here. This is going to show you, here are the February classes. They are on Saturday. They will all start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then they end at different times, depending on which one of them, the three it is. The March classes are going to be on Thursdays, and they're going to start at 12 o'clock noon. So the first one will be March 28th, and then April 4th and April 11th. These are available on my website yet. I haven't had a chance to get them in the university. I will try and get that within the next few days.
Perfect. Yeah. So we'll have some options for you to sign up for that late March, April class here shortly. So then when you purchase, it's $95, but you're getting 14 hours of educational time with Donna, plus the support group, plus Donna. You're going to be able to message her anytime, and she's very, very attentive to that. And then the videos for life. So you're going to be able to kind of really make sure you complete this project. As far as the dream panel is concerned, it is the big dream panel. It's not the big one though. They call it the big dream panel though. So I'll post a link to the one where I found it. A lot of people have found it on Amazon. We are out officially.
Okay.
Sorry. But I can certainly see if there's any chance that we can get in some more. I know you can find it on Etsy as well. So there's a few different places to go. I personally would always check with my local quilt shop first, because this has been a really, really popular, panel. Most of the quilt shops will have them. So I would check with them as well.
There are still a lot of shops that do have them. If you want to have a particular color, you might have to shop around a little bit for that. But there's quite a few of them out there, believe it or not. And so that's really good. This size on this one, I think, was 43 by 43 is what it's called. There's another bigger one that's 60 inches. But this one is the 43. And I added borders to it, but it's absolutely optional. You don't have to do that. Let's see if we can get out here and see the borders. And so I have a 1-inch border and a 2.5-inch border on the outside. So one other thing, this class is not geared only for domestic machines. I've had ladies who actually are working on long arms on a frame. And so some of our instructions are just slightly different than that, but you can do it. And as long as I know what machine you have, then we're good to go. So it isn't, I see that one person said she's intimidated by Zoom, but this one, makes it so easy. Well, thank you, Debbie, for that. It really is. It's really just like a situation like right now that we have, where you can see and I can hear Stacy with her comments and questions, and you're on the other end of it too. I don't have to read written comments, so that makes it a lot easier for all of us, but there's nothing to be afraid of. We work through it together, and any technical issues that you might have, I help you with a lot of those. So it's really great. So don't be afraid to jump out there and do it. We're going to get you through all of it. Any other questions or comments about this?
I don't see any other questions that have come up. So no, I think that answers most of those questions.
Perfect.
And So yeah, I'm going to post another link. So if you do want to go ahead and get signed up for the February class, then you can jump on there. As Donna said, we'll have the March, April class available here shortly on the So Study University. You know, someone did ask, will they have access to the recorded education if they sign up on your website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So it doesn't matter where you sign up, whether it's on my website or the university, you will have all the same benefits. You'll have access to the private support group. You will also have access to the videos. Now, these people in the February class will have video access only to those classes. This is a second session, and so they're not all lumped together in one. Each group has their own set of videos because the people are different, and so the situations change. The overall program is consistent and the same, but some of the specifics about each part of it changes slightly because the people are different and the templates are different.
Sure. Excellent. Well, I am super excited about this. I know that I have my dream panel that I haven't completed yet, but I started Donna's class and I need to finish it. So that is the other thing to know is that if you can't join every Zoom, then you can go back and watch the recordings as well. So just know if you're anything like me, then you're going to have the opportunity to finish it and you don't have to do it on the timeline that she's giving you. But I'm excited because it's one of my favorite projects that I've seen, and I can't wait to hang it on my wall someday. Someday, I
I
will have
can't
it on my
wait to
wall.
see it finished. There's a lot of people though that took the class at different times during the year.
Yeah.
They're just now finishing their quilts. So
Mhm.
don't feel bad. You still aren't late. Okay?
No, I see that all the time. That's why I love Westerly by Me, because I'm always so encouraged by everyone that's posting their links and or their pictures and sharing what they're doing. And they're all, they're all finishing it at different times. So that's okay. We get sidetracked in life sometimes, and that's why we get to have these recorded videos and everything else so we can go back and do it. But mine's
Exactly.
in my sewing room waiting for me to finish. So I'm super excited about this. I think that all of you should take a dive into this panel class because I do think that Donna does such an awesome job showing you how you can use the rulers that you already have to create some really, really cool quilting designs on that dream panel. I did do a Google search as well, and so there's so many options, whether it's through the quilt shops. I saw several that pulled up on the quilt shops or online that you can get the panel from as well. So definitely encourage you to go to those local shops and take advantage of the panels there. But yeah, see what you can do to find the perfect panel for your home or your project. All right, any other questions before we head over to Kathy Clawson, who's going to tell us about her Valentine's Day project? Donna, did you have any final words for everyone?
Well, I look forward to seeing everyone in one of these classes or one of the others. And then again, here in a couple more weeks, we'll be doing another Wednesday Wonders talking about some of the other classes coming up. So good luck.
Awesome.
If you signed up, great. If not, that's okay. There's still time.
Okay, excellent. Well, then, thank you again, Donna. I see a lot of excitement about this, so I have a feeling we're going to get some people that are going to be getting signed up. In the meantime, let's head on over. We've got Kathy Clawson joining us live. Hi, Kathy.
Hey there. I would just like to add, I did take Donna's big Dream Big panel class. I think it should be mandatory. It is just an awesome class. I learned so much.
I agree with
So,
that. I think it helps you take it from just a project to like design. I mean, it's what it is. It's called a design workshop for a reason. She really
yeah.
pushes you to create some skills in that design and see what your templates can do that maybe aren't obvious,
Mhm.
to the shape and design of them. So that's the other thing I absolutely love. Um,
Absolutely.
So, Kathy, you have pre-recorded a little intro to your class for all of us, but I will let you say a few words before we play your pre-recorded to just let us know why this is a class that you love and why you think that they'll love it too.
Well, thank you, Stacy. I love this class simply because I love these templates. These are done mostly with the Freedom Edge templates. And with this, I was able to do a lot of extraneous things to it. One, I used the string of hearts also on this particular block. And then on this one, we did some cross hatching and some free motion, which is totally optional, totally optional. The block I think that was the easiest is this particular block. It kind of reminds me a little bit of peppermint candy at Christmas. And what we're going to do on the new one that we've got coming up, and I've got a different color here, we're going to be talking about different threads, different thread weights, and how it affects the overall look of our project. Donna mentioned in hers that she introduced us to a little bit of a heavier weight of thread, which I fell in love with. And then I found some lighter weight thread that I totally fell in love with. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So that's just kind of an overview of what we're going to be doing, and you'll see more on the video.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kathy. And let's go ahead and head over to your video where you tell them all about it. And then Melissa will just verify if there's any questions or anything at the end. But we'll dive into your short video now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome to my happy place. I'm Kathy Clawson. I'm here to tell you about a class that I'm going to be presenting on Sew Steady, and it will occur on Thursday, January 25th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., and the class will be live Zoom. Afterwards, it will be available on the Sew Steady University. What I'm presenting is going to be a 3-part table runner, and it's all about hearts. As you can see in our first block here, we're going to use our heart templates, and that's going to cover these 3 hearts here. And we're going to use our strand of hearts as well. And that is going to cover this circle here with the heart. That is the first block that we're going to do. And I will show you a little bit about how that's done, and then we'll come back and show you the other blocks.
I'm going to start with our 2-inch heart. What I'm going to do, and let me get my paper back. I should have covered those markings first. What we're going to do is we are going to line this line. This is the center of our heart right here. And we're going to use this line as marking lines to determine our placement on our block. And this, if I use this horizontal line and the top of this template are both the same height, and I'm using the right-handed solid etched line and the etched line that's right at the bottom of the heart, my heart is going to be perfectly lined up so that the bottom point will be right in the center of my block. And what I'm going to start with is I am going to put my needle down and bring my bobbin thread up, and this is right in the center of the block. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to go ahead and put my needle down. Well, let's try one more time and I'll get my needle down. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put my template on. So I am lining up this vertical line. I think you need to be closer, don't you? Let's see if we can get you in here a little bit better. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I'll be turning it around. So we've got our vertical line here and here. We've got our horizontal line lining up on our horizontal line. I am starting on line number 1. Okay, I always turn this around because it's so much easier for you to see, but it's also easier for me to see. So here we go. I'm going to take my first stitch in place and we're going to head up. What I like to do when I'm doing any type of a curvy design, for example, the hearts have 2 curves on the top, I like to shorten my stitch length up just a little bit. And remember, we're not doing this on our machine. Our stitch regulator is our hands. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut that thread off, and the only reason that I'm cutting it off is because it is going to be buried. There's several different layers of stitching that are going to go on top of this. There we go. And so that thread will be secured. And here we go with the second half of our heart. And this is our little 2-inch heart. They're so precious. Now, just so you're aware, I'm not really a fast sewer. I'm not a fast stitcher. I do try sometimes, but my students will tell you I don't very often speed up too much. And we're going to go up and around the top, remembering to keep our stitches just a little bit shorter. They don't have to be minuscule. Heaven forbid, if you have to take them out, then it's not going to be fun at all. Okay, and now I'm going to turn my block. Normally I would not be turning my block this often. I'm doing it because I want you to have a clear field of vision what I am doing here. Okay, so this line is number 5. So we're going to put the 2-inch heart on number 1 and number 5. And now we're going to go to number 9. Lining my vertical line up here, my horizontal line here, and around we go. Now when we stop to turn our template over, make sure that your needle is down. You definitely want your needle down, or when you take that template off, things can move around quite readily, and you do not want that to happen. Okay. And again, this is line number 9. And finally, line number 13. I'm going to come this way. I did a 360. What do you think of that? Kind of weird. These templates are very easy to use. They're easy for a beginner as well as a seasoned professional. So it's, I think, a very good set to invest in when you just are beginning your journey into template quilting, because there's so many different designs and things that we can do with a heart. You know, if you take a look at this, I'm going to show you here in a second. This could be a shamrock. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to put a 4-inch heart this time on line number 1, number 5, number 9, and number 13. This is going to give us some really fun template quilting options when we get to that point. And you'll see how beautiful that it just comes in and works right over our last line of stitching. Come back here. Again, I'm lining that first vertical line here, my horizontal line back here. And as long as you keep everything lined up, you're giving yourself optimal chances of success. A lot of thought has gone into how these templates are produced and how they are marked. The marks are there to make your life much easier. Well, my life too. We are using the Jules template. It's a 1-inch heart, and I've chosen the 11.5-inch strand. What that means is we have a hole right here that we're going to put our thumbtack through, and when we make a complete rotation, it's going to be 11.5 inches from one side to the other. I want you to notice these 3 etched lines. And I'm going to pull the template down just a little bit because these 3 lines are very important. Obviously, this line is going to be a center line. This line over here is where we need to line up one of our 16 rotation lines to make the left side of the heart. This side, then we would turn it and we would make the right side of the heart. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn the template to make the connecting line, which turns into a circle, that keeps them all together. Now the other thing we are going to do is on lines 3, 7, 11, and 15, on the upper hand side of our circle, we're going to put a 2-inch heart. And I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do that. So let me go ahead and get stuff set up here. I want to make sure that I've got you nice and close. There we go. And I'm just going to pull you in a little bit closer. I think that's really good. You've seen us put tacks in before. I already have my tack in there, and I am going to start on line 1. It's of note that you should understand that these hearts are stitched twice. We're going to start at the tip of the heart, the bottom. We would consider that the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down. I am lining up this diagonal line on my rotation line number 1, and I'm going to pull my thread up there. Okay, so I've got my first half of my heart in, so now I'm going to just twist my template so that this line is now lined up. Make sure you can see that. There we go. And now I'm going to stitch down and stitch back up, and that's going to complete my heart. Take that first stitch in place. I like to do that to prevent toe catchers. Toe catchers are those long first stitch that we make sometimes. I tend to make them more often than not. Now what I am doing is I am twisting my template on the pin. I am on the pin right here. So now that my right side of the heart is lined up on line 2. But I need to get from line 1 to line 2, and I'm going to use this as a guide. And you see how beautifully that connects these hearts. I love this template. I was always afraid of it, and now that I've tried it, I don't know why, because it's really not a difficult template to use. None of the jewels are difficult to use, and I'm going to be using them more often. I just think they're very pretty. They give you something a little unexpected, and they help you move around your quilt so easily. Lining up now the left-hand side of the heart, and if you do this right, it's going to snug right into this corner where it belongs. So I'm going to go ahead, stitch down, and stitch back up. Okay, so now I'm again at the bottom point of my heart. I need to get over to line number 3. So here we go. Now line number 3, we're going to do something a little different. If you remember, I'm going to stop on line 3. Now I'm going to take this template off. And what I want to do, and I'm going to do this in each of the 4 corners, is I'm going to put my 2-inch heart template on, and I'm going to have it facing the outside of the block. You see that these hearts are facing the inside of the block. This one is going to face the outside of the block. So I'm lining up my vertical line here. My horizontal line is basically still there, even though it's on a circle. When it comes right down to where the needle is, it does hit that line. Take my 1 stitch in place. Out we go. We're going to come across. Now we don't need to stitch these twice, but you know, you feel free if you really want to, because it would basically be the same thing. Is we would stitch out, stitch back down to the tip. Well, let's just do it that way, okay? Just have to be sure you do not move your template when you're doing this. This is going to make perfect traveling stitches for you as long as your template stays stationary. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip my template over to make the second half of my heart. And what I will do is I will come up to the top and around. And now I will come back down to the bottom tip of the heart, and that's going to allow me to put my jewel template right back on, and it will be right where it's supposed to be. So there we go. I'm just putting these in the 4 corners just to kind of, I think it kind of makes the block look a little more square. And since we're using squares for our blocks instead of circles, I think it adds a little bit of interest to it, and I really like the look. So I'm going to go ahead and put my gate back in here. You'll see I've got my tape. I keep my tape close as I can to the stitching portion of my template so that I don't have it come loose. So now, what do I want to do? Do I want to do this side first, or do I want to do the left first? This being the right side, this being the left side. Well, because I want to stitch over here when I am finished with this heart, so what I want to do is I want to start on the right hand side, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch down. And stitch back out. Okay, then I'm going to twist my template, and I'm going to stitch down and stitch back out. Now I am all set up to go ahead and travel to my next line.
Here is our second of 3 blocks for our 3-part Connecting Hearts table runner. What I've done is I have chosen to use this set of templates, the Connecting Hearts or Freedom Edge templates, and I've used it within the block itself. I've used the template number 1 on the inside, and the template number 2 on the outer perimeter of the square. I also have used our regular hearts in this and done some free motion and some cross hatching. This block is going to leave you a lot of options. You can template it like I've done here. You could also take your Derwent pencils and draw in some of these hearts if you wish, Or, like I did, you could do some free motion stitching in there. This is all up to you and your imagination. We're just going to guide you through getting the basic design on and then let you do what you wish to it. So here's a little bit of information on how exactly we did that block.
What we're going to use is the Freedom Edge 2-inch Hearts 2 template. And I just want to cover a few markings on these. What we have is a dashed line smack dab through the middle of the heart. Also one coming on the flourish vertically. What we've noticed is we have these solid edged lines on the bottom and on the top of the flourish. And if you cross over this dashed line, this solid line, that is where our needle position will be. There's a lot of awesome markings on here. The other thing I just wanted to mention is to be sure that you have stable tape on both sides of the template. We are going to be flipping the template over and twisting it and doing all kinds of fun things to it. And what I'm going to do is I am going to line up this dashed line in the center of my heart on my vertical crosshair. Take our first stitch in place. Doesn't matter if you go to the left or to the right. You're always going to start at the bottom point of your heart and you're going to end at the bottom point of your heart. What I have done here is I've just literally moved this template. Here's where we were, right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead through my needle pass, and we have just moved the template to the right. And again, we have this awesome marking right here to show us where we're going to go. We had a great question on Friday's template tasting, and someone asked if there's wiggle room in this channel. There really is none. You don't have to worry about sticking to one side or the other. When we come up on the flourish, what we're going to end up doing is we are going to end up right at that diagonal crosshair. And if anybody likes math type stuff, that's a 45-degree crosshair. Okay, so now we're going to stop right on that line. Okay, isn't that beautiful how everything works out? So now what we've got, if we just move our template down, it's going to be facing the wrong direction. So what we want to do is we want to flip it over, and then we're going to twist it. So what we're going to end up with is we are going to end up with our flourish coming down and ending where the vertical, or horizontal in this case, well, let's make it vertical, okay? I want to keep moving so you guys can see everything. Where our vertical crosshair is and our 8-inch square lines up. If you have to adjust just a little bit, no worries, go ahead, do that. Okay, and again, this is another curve, so I am kind of shortening my stitch length up just a tad. And down we come. Okay, I am going to use the Hearts 2 template. And to put the heart in the corner, what I want to do is place my template so that, I want to make sure you see this well because this is an important placement. We are going to have the edges, these two edges of our hearts, which is like the curve, the high curve is going to be right touching that 9-inch line. The template is going to be touching it. Our stitching will not. We are going to make sure we've got our dashed center line for our heart lined up on our diagonal crosshair. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to pick up my bobbin thread, and I can move my template to do that because I know exactly how it has to be lined up, and we now have our thread there. If I'm ever going to come to the end of my bobbin thread, there it is. Wow. I probably should check my bobbin after that. Okay, I'm going to put my needle back down. Again, my outside of my template is going to just touch that 9-inch square, and we're going to line up the center of our heart on the 45 diagonal and taking my first stitch in place, as I often try to do. Well, I try to do it all the time, but of course we sometimes forget. I'm going to come up and around, remembering to shorten up those stitches a little bit on curves, simply because they appear more rounded. Okay, going to come back down and get back to my bottom.
Here we are with the third of our 3-block connecting hearts table runner. In this block, you'll see this is likely the easiest block we're going to do, and what we're going to utilize is, again, our Freedom Edge hearts and our regular hearts. This set of templates was the first set that I purchased after my starter set. What I found with the set of hearts was the diversity was basically non-ending. So just remember, when you are investing in templates, you're not investing in something you're only going to use one time and then squirrel it away. It's something that you're going to use over and over and over again. And I truly believe that the heart templates is one of those sets that you can use over and over in so many different ways. So what I did on this particular block is I used the regular hearts here on the inside. We used our flourish here, and I will give you just a little sample of that.
We are going to put our flourish back on, or keep it on, whichever, if you've already got it on. And we're going to line up our blue arrow. So we are going to then stitch up. We're going to stop when our needle hits the line. We're going to then move our flourish up. We're going to line our template up so that we really want to stop on the 11-inch circle and our crosshair line. And it may not bring us to the very edge of the template. It probably won't, and that's okay because that's the way it's designed. You don't need to be at the edge of your template. You need to be at that intersection. Okay, so I'm going to take the template off because I want to talk about what we've got going on here. And I'm going to move you guys over just a little bit because I really want you to see this, okay? There we go. Perfect. So what we've got now is we stitched in after we did our rotations here and here, and now we've stitched back out to the 11-inch line. What are we missing? We are missing this inward facing heart on this line. Okay, so what we've got is a single line of stitching here on our 11-inch line. Here we've got double lines of stitching because of the way we need it to travel. So what you can do is you can travel all the way back to the previous flourish line and then come back into the next crosshair line. Is that necessary? Absolutely not. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. Some people just feel as though they don't like leaving a single line of stitching next to a double line of stitching. The double line of stitching has a little extra weight to it. We call it weight. It's a little heavier. The single line of stitching next to the double line of stitching, they feel shows too much. It's too much of a distraction. And that's a personal decision. You make that decision. I don't make that decision for you. But what you can do is just travel to that crosshair that's missing its inward facing heart. And that's the way I'm going to do it. I'm just going to travel to that crosshair. Okay. And remember to keep traveling. I stopped because I really had to move my hands. Okay, I am now on that crosshair. So I am going to take my heart. I'm going to turn you around so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to make my inward facing heart. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my template off. And now I'm going to stitch back to the top of my flourish. And I am going to stitch out my outward facing heart.
Thank you very much, Kathy, and thank you everybody for joining us. And Kathy, did you have any closing comments or?
I needed to unmute myself. Just looking forward to seeing everyone at the class.
Yep.
It is a fun class and it's not difficult at all.
Yep. Thank you everybody for joining us, and the links are included in the comments, and we hope you can join both Kathy's class and Donna's.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.